Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Facebook Live. Okay, better. Good morning. I'm running just a second late, sorry. Hope you guys are can join me. If you're joining me live, welcome. If you're joining me after, welcome as well. It must be, good grief, 10:02 in Albuquerque. I'm late. I am excited today to show you some fall projects. Was trying to think of something great pumpkin and something for fall, and I never got quite there. Good morning, Patty. Anyway, I didn't get quite to the great pumpkin stuff I wanted to do, but I found some other stuff that was really cool. I was working late last night, I think about till midnight, on my class today. My class today is the paper pumpkin for August with alternative ideas and the card pack that goes with it. Super excited about that. I have spots left if you want to sign up. Lots of ideas, lots of supplies that I can't believe how much extra I have. I've just designed this whole pile of stuff, and I've got a huge pile of supplies that are extra. So it's kind of fun. If you want a to-go kit, they're $35, free shipping, and all the supplies are included. And I'll design everything, send you all the instructions for everything, and then mail you the kit. So that's a possibility if you'd like one. For now, I have got an appointment at 11 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with our projects so I can leave just a tiny bit early this morning. Maybe not much more, but a couple minutes if we can get a hold of that. Okay, so upside down and backwards. Now let's see what we can figure out here. I hate this part. I tell you this every time, but I hate it just as much every time. Trying to center the camera and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out a new system. But for now, let me see what you're seeing. Let the camera catch up. Actually, not terrible. Push this back a little bit, and hopefully that's right about where it needs to be. All right. So to start out, let me show you what we're using today. I've got, oh, I didn't cut my second piece of paper. I've got some really cool paper from, let me double check, from the Come To Gather Designer Series paper pack. And I've almost used up this whole pack of paper. It's actually amazing. We're going to use that piece as well today. It's just got so many pretty patterns and non-traditional colors that are really, really pretty. I can't show you the whole pack because I don't have the whole pack anymore. Let's see what else I can show you. Can't get my finger on that one. There's stripes, lots of florally, leafy things. There's pumpkins. Really pretty, and then there's wood grain. Obviously, I haven't used those two sheets. I've seen a lot of cool samples, though. I'll be using it soon, I'm sure. And then we've got some copper foil paper. I'm going to be using a Pool Party ink pad and my copper ink pad. And I promise I will do this stamp set in different colors eventually, but for right now, I can't get over the copper. So that's what we're using today as well. So I've got the Gather Together stamp set, and we'll be using several images in that, and then the buffalo check, because I thought it kind of played off of this plaid a little bit, and we'll use those together. All right, so let's get started. Let's decide what we're going to do first. I've got my samples over here. Let's go ahead and start with the card. This is kind of just the order I designed everything in. So we'll get some supplies out of the way. And for the card, I've just started with Cajun Craze background, like this. And then a piece of copper, this size. Oh, it's got a little bend in it. And then a piece of Whisper White. which I am not seeing on my table. Let's grab a piece and cut it down to the right size. Okay, let's bring in our cutter. Did you guys hear we're getting a new cutter? I am super excited. Demonstrators got to see it today. Customers will, it'll be available for customers. We don't know when. It'll be available for demonstrators October 1st. And I will be ordering mine because I can't wait. I just want to play with it and test it and try it. Okay, for now, we're going to use this cutter. I've got, so I need my white to be 2.5 by about 5 1/4. So we'll go 5 1/4 by 2.5. And then hopefully, if I did that right, this will frame that just about perfect. Okay, got it. Now let's go ahead and start stamping. I'll put these 2 layers aside. We'll start stamping on that. I've got my big leaf and my copper embossing pad. And I've got a fan going behind me, so cross your fingers. This might not turn out so pretty. We're going to go ahead and stamp this all over the white. I'm just going to make a pretty, stop. Like jiggling the fan or the camera all over the place. I'll go neater. Sorry. Didn't realize it was moving so much. I'm trying not to overlap my leaves, but get them as close in there as I can. Let's see how we can wiggle this guy in to fill up the rest of the space. Right there. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and emboss this guy. Got our copper embossing powder. We're going to sprinkle this. Okay, we're going to dump this all over. Kind of wiggle it around until it gets all the good inky spots. Okay, see the fan action going on? I'm going to blow off the crumbs. Get as much of this back in here as you can. And put the lid back on. Look at my mat. I do not want to emboss this, so hang on one second. That's what the floor's for, right? Okay, hang on a little bit more. Good grief. Okay, no embossing with the fan on anymore. All right, heat tool. Let's get this in here. I do not want to emboss my mat. All right, let's see how far we get. Really hot. All right. Got it. All right, so you're just going to, as you're embossing, you're going to lift it up to the light and see I missed, there's a spot. You probably can't see it, but I can. There's a spot there and a spot there. that is not raised and is not shiny. It's still got the crumbs on there. So let's hit it one more time really quick. Perfect. Okay, so again, just raise it up to the light, make it reflect. I see another spot right there. There's a lot of detail in this, so I'm missing a few spots. Hold on. Okay, now I think I got it. Let's look again. Anyway, raise it up to the light. Make sure that when it reflects, it is shiny and raised and not dull and powdery. That's the difference. And I think we saved the matte. Okay, now we're going to take this, and I've got a pile of blends hanging out over here on the side. One thing I noticed about the copper embossing powder is if you use the blends over the top of the embossing powder, I don't know why, I think it's the alcohol in the marker, but the blends tend to eat away a little bit at the actual embossing powder. It's kind of weird. Let's see, Cajun Craze. Okay, so I was trying to pair these up. The Cajun Craze and the pumpkin, if they're not sitting next to each other, they look the same to me, or they're confusing to me. Anyway, so we're going to start with the dark, and I'm just going to squiggle on the veins of the leaf, just the big vein up the middle. We'll do this one down here too at the same time. That seems to be doing okay, but I've noticed in other times, maybe I didn't let it dry enough. No, there it goes. You can kind of see it messing with the embossing powder, and I don't know why. I guess it's the alcohol. If anybody else has had this issue or had this problem, let me know. You can just kind of, it just seems to smudge just a little bit. For this, I'm not worried about it because we're working on fall leaves anyway. So I want that kind of messy look. And I also want, I don't care if it smears a little bit because leaves aren't perfectly one color. Can you see where it kind of muddied up that Daffodil Delight? You can see where it smeared just a little. It's okay. It seems like it hasn't affected the markers at all, and that's pretty much my only concern. I think it will be okay. Anyway, that just gives it a tiny bit of tone on tone. You kind of can't tell, but it gives it a little bit of texture. And this one we'll do with our Cajun Craze. We're just filling in the leaves, giving them a little bit of color, a little bit of fall feel. And now I don't want that stark white background, so I've got my ivory Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to come in and just kind of scribble in all the white. And if you go over the top of the leaves at all, it'll kind of pull out some of the color. So it won't be the exact color as the ivory. It'll kind of pull some of that other color in, but I'm not real worried about it. It doesn't have to be exact, although you're welcome to make yours exact. Perfect. Okay. And that's all I really wanted to do with that. We'll put our blends aside. And this is what we've got for our card. So we'll pull this in, fold this guy in half, grab a bone folder. Get a nice crease on that. And then we've got this, and what I normally would do is take my leaves and cut them out of the center of this copper paper. Let me see where the rest of my leaves went. think that's all of them. So normally what I would do is take these and cut them out of the middle. As long as I've got that little edge and border around here to go under my white piece, I want to save that real estate and use it for something good. So I would normally cut that out, because you guys don't need to see me walk away and cut stuff out. We're going to skip that part. But don't waste all this good stuff, because all you're going to see is that little edge around there. So why waste all that middle stuff? Nobody else is going to see it. Okay, so we're going to center this, and I didn't even leave a 1/4 of an inch all the way around. I think, no, we're going to glue this straight down. I was going to think about putting dimensionals on it, but, well, this does not like the back of this paper. Sometimes snail does not like glossy paper, and this has a little bit of coating on the back of it. So you kind of have to be careful if you're gluing down pictures or things like that, or anything with a gloss to the back. You don't want to, I mean, it won't stick. It doesn't like it at all. Okay, now we're going to do the season's greetings. Where'd it go? I was working till, like I said, about midnight last night working on stuff, and then this morning I thought I had all the time in the world, and all of a sudden I ran out of morning. Do you guys ever do that? So we're going to put Season of Thanks right there. And again, we're going to emboss that. Much neater this time. I'm learning. Make sure to cover your embossing powder every time before you try to heat set anything, because if you're like me, you'll just make a big wad. Okay, here goes. Perfect. Okay, so we've got that just down there in the corner. And then I'm going to bring in my sample and show you what our finished product is going to be. And we're just going to take some of these leaves and kind of put dimensionals on them and glue them down. I think I lost a leaf somewhere. We'll make it work. Oh, I see him. He got mixed up with the thinlits. Okay, just one dimensional on the back of all of these, and then we'll decide where they go. Kind of copy what I already had down there. Sort of. Okay, so we've got that. If you've got any little spaces that you want to fill in, if you're not quite sure what to do next, we've also got this little bitty leaf punch from the, it's a punch pack from the holiday catalog. Good morning, Nancy. There's a leaf, and so what you can do is, especially when you've got little bitty scraps, there's tons of real estate in these little corners. You can't always fit them in, but if you wiggle it around enough, most of the time you can get one out of the stuff that you would normally have thrown away anyway. So these I'll just put down flat with my snail. Where'd the other one go? Right here. And then you can kind of fill in some of the blank areas or whatever you want. And there's our copper card. Isn't that pretty? I just love how all the colors and the copper play off each other. Okay, we'll set that aside. Our next, transitioning into our next copper project, I've got an envelope project for you. So what I'm going to do is take an envelope, just one of our regular white. You can use white. Oh, for that card here, speaking of envelopes, I actually made a matching back. The back flap of this envelope. Ooh, look how pretty that looks. That's kind of cool. Can you see the back? The inside of the back. I even like that. But that matches and goes with that one. Okay. Calvin. Hi, Calvin. My nephew's watching. Hi, baby boy. I love you. All right, we're going to take this envelope and we're going to cut it in half. We'll go ahead and lick it closed. And now I've got a pouch. We will, let's see if I have one handy. I don't. I'll show you in a minute. So we've got that. We're going to do the wishing you well right here on the bottom. And we're going to emboss that. I guess the theme of today is embossing. But who doesn't love copper embossing powder? Okay, one last time with the heat gun. Okay, and because you all know what embossing looks like, I embossed this leaf onto the copper paper. When you're stamping, be really careful. The copper paper is super slippery. And so when you, hi Emery, how are you? So Calvin and Emery are watching. When you stamp on this copper foil paper, it's slippery, so be careful, because I felt my stamp like set down and slide a little bit. It kind of drifts, so be real careful. But then you can, once you get it heat embossed, you can cut it out. There's a die that goes with the bundle. That's where these leaves came from. I didn't quite explain that. We've got that set of embossing folders comes with the 3 leaf dies, and these will emboss and cut at the same time. Did you see the texture on those? It's really pretty. Those are fun, even on regular paper. It's really pretty. All right, so we've got a pouch. I would put a tea bag in here, a gift card in here. Something flat and chocolate is always a winner. Anything like that will fit inside and is a perfect match for that. I'm going to start by making a belly band with the other piece of paper. Where did it go? Things are disappearing. Lots of things are disappearing. Emery, where is it? Do you see it? There it is. It was upside down. I didn't recognize it. That's too big. So we're going to go a little bit narrower. Let's see if this is... I think 3 looks about right. Nice thing about a 3-inch strip is you can get lots out of a piece of paper. Yep, this is about perfect. So we're going to make a belly band. So I'm going to hold this right about there. We'll flip it over. And I'm just going to finger fold this. You don't want to do it super, super tight because when you put anything of thickness in here, you want to make sure it's going to close and wrap around. So I'm just going to kind of estimate, and then with paper snips, I can cut this off where I want it. You could always put whatever you wanted inside in there first if you weren't quite sure. Oh heck, I like the other side of the paper too. I hate it when that happens. Why do they have to make it pretty on both sides? Then you can't pick. All right, so we've got that, and that's our little belly band. And then we'll put dimensionals on the back of our leaf. And then I don't know why, but I love copper and denim. Maybe it reminds me of Levi's. I'm not sure. But we're going to tie a bow right here with our denim ribbon. That goes over there. And I never ever cut off my ribbon until I get my bow exactly how I want it, because then I can always adjust it and I don't have to waste it. Let's see. I twisted this. Let's get it back the right direction. I just love the copper and the denim together. All right, so that's pretty close. I'm gonna, just for the sake of time, cut this a little bit off. I normally would have untied it and tied it back again with a little less on that end, because I hate wasting ribbon. It's so pretty. All right, close enough. We'll drag this over just a little bit off the edge, or towards the edge, and then we'll put our leaf down. We'll stick this right up under there. Isn't that cute? Cute little party favorite, half an envelope and a scrap of paper. I just really like that. Let me show you my already done one. Basically all it is you just slide this off, and then I've got a tea bag in there. And that fits nicely. You've got a little more room. You can do a gift card in there, like I said. You can do a lot of different things. Chocolate's always a good thing, as long as it's like a Ghirardelli would fit in there, or a small chocolate bar, something like that. And then this just slides back and forth up there to close it. Isn't that fun? I wouldn't put like M&Ms in there because they're going to fall out these holes, but you get the idea. So there's that. All right, one more project. Okay, Emery and Calvin, are you guys still watching? Okay, if you are still watching, if you go down to the like, you can click on, where did it go? It's not on mine. If you can click the corner or something, and then it sends little hearts up on the corner right here. Right on the right-hand corner. All right, one more little envelope trick. I'll show you this before we make it so you know where we're going with it. Again, this has a belly band, but this time it folds up and out, and you can stick a gift card or whatever you want inside. Again, something flat. It's going to be about the same size and shape as the one I just made, but I just wanted to give you a different version. And then this belly band comes back over the flap so that it encloses everything. All right, let's make that one. So this time we're going to take a full envelope, and we're going to start with our buffalo check stamp set. And I haven't even put this together. I don't really even put it together. I'm not worried about it like that. I'm just going to take my Pool Party ink pad and stamp the whole background, go backwards on it. I'm going to take the label out and show you what we're going to do next. Ink this all the way up. I've thought about this to see if this would work. I'm going to lay my envelope down just like that. I think I maybe missed the top a little bit. I'm going to close the lid. No, it's not going to catch the edges like I want to. So what I really need to do is take my piece of scrap paper and rub it like this. I thought the lid would give a little bit more, but this is big enough that it's not going to catch the edges. All right, so just smooth that out all over the place. And then you've got your buffalo plaid background. All right, remind me to clean that later. All right, now what we're going to do is get the embossing powder over it. Good grief, this goes everywhere. And then we're going to fold this to the middle. And I'm not super worried about getting it exactly, although I'd like to get it pretty darn close. That looks close. Meet in the middle, so there's no gap right here in the seam. And then fold this all the way up. Like that. Now, if you open it, I'm going to cut away the corners. So I'm going to cut here and here. And I've seen different ones where you can actually, instead of making the flap go down, you can glue the flap down inside, and it doesn't have a flap at all. But I want it to flap because I don't want whatever I put inside to fall out. So this closes like this. This closes down over the top. And that's how that goes. Now I've got my sentiment right here. I'm going to open it so I don't have any bumps to stamp on. Okay, there's that. And so again, that folds down over this. Now we're going to make our belly band. And we've got, this time we've got a 2-inch strip of this cardstock, and we're going to do it the same way. We're going to decide where we want this to land right here. And then fold this over. Hopefully a little bit straighter than that. And then fold this over. And again, decide if you need, how much room you need for thickness. If you need it to be a little bit thicker or lumpier. And the nice thing about this paper is it gives me lines to cut on. And we've got that down there. Pretty cool so far. All right, now what I've done next is I've stamped the pumpkin and the little double pumpkin. Stamp these far enough away from each other that you can die cut them out. And I don't have the piece that I die cut from, but once you die cut those out, here are the little dies, and Stampin' Up! Actually gave us 2 of those little dudes. So you can cut 2 out at a time, and that's kind of fun. So we've got those to die cut out, and then once I've done that, you get these. Okay, now to finish this off, I'm going to bring in my denim ribbon again. I love being able to use a lot of the same products and have things turn out way different looking. It's kind of cool. We've got, I keep twisting my ribbon today. A good bow going on there. Again, my tail is just a tiny bit too long. All right, I've got that ready to go. I'm going to put the ribbon, I think, a little tiny bit towards the top of the belly band. Just slide it up. And it doesn't matter really, but I just want it that teeny bit up at the top. Now I'm going to glue down my pumpkins. And we'll do the little ones flat. We'll put one there. Actually, one there and one teeny bit up. And then the big pumpkin we'll put dimensionals on. Why is my table moving so much today? Are you guys seeing that, or is it just me? Every time I glance up, my camera's moving. And then we'll put that pumpkin right there. Pretty cool. All right, let's bring in what we made. Oh, and then I had a piece of, a little bitty piece of scrap left. And so I'll bring in my little punch. Where'd he go? Here he is. And on my sample, I did it with solid paper. But on this one, I'm going to do it on the little scrap of that paper I had left. And that way these little leaves have some pattern to them, which is kind of cool. And we'll just glue some leaves to take up some of that white space. Just like that. I love him. All right, let's bring in our samples. We've got, see, those are just solid with the Cajun Craze. And then we've got our other envelope pouches. We've got our card with our matching envelope. Whoops. And then the other card. And there you go, we did it. And all in under 35 minutes. Good grief. Thanks, you guys. I am super excited that you could stamp with me today, either live or on the replay. If you are joining me live or on the replay, let me know that you've stopped by and just say hi. I appreciate it. I've got, last week's samples. I've got this box and my milk carton box. Where'd he go? And I will draw names and post that today. I've got those samples to send out to somebody. I need to go back and look and see who shared and liked this. So you have to tell me you did, because I don't know. I can't see if you